Victoria has inspired hundreds of people to love and respect themselves and live happy, healthy lives. To receive more goodness in your life, sign up at www.victoriasplaceonline.com.au or like Victoria's Place Online on Facebook. Now it's time for you. Relax, breathe, and enjoy your precious gift, the gift of a good life. Namaste.
Fantastic. Okay, thank you very much for everyone's coming today. It's very exciting to do this new way of getting out to people. It's sometimes easier for people to stay home, especially in this sort of situation when it's cold out there. So I hope you're all warm now. It's just great to be able to communicate with you guys this way. I've decided to call it a happy hour tonight. And as you know, my name is Victoria Ewan, and I'm just trying to inspire you to be the change and to really get the best out of your own life. So I've got so much to inspire you with today. I'm probably going to talk really fast, but as you just heard, I am recording the session, so you can play it back later if you need to. And we only have an hour. And so I've spent hundreds and hundreds of hours studying this. So we're only really going to touch on a little bit, but at the end of the call I'll give you some more ways that you can increase your knowledge and help inspire others in your life as well. Help you relax and help everybody else relax as well. So I'm going to show you how to develop your own practice so you can bring that long-lasting happiness into your busy life. What we need to, or why do we need to do this? Why do we need to bring this peacefulness into our life? It leads to a happier, it leads to being less stressed, it leads to you being relaxed, it lowers your blood pressure, it helps us sleep better, and it allows us to take care of our own bodies and our loved ones for a very long time. And so I feel really, really passionate about sharing this with you all because I know how absolutely awful it is to be stuck in a negative passion in your life. My whole existence has become better since I've started practicing yoga regularly. And it's not just the poses. You know how you see the poses all the time and you think, oh, that's what yoga is, I can't do that. You know, there's still these amazing pictures on magazines. But it's not just the poses. It's a whole way of living. It's a way to slow down, to be mindful, and to learn to listen to our thoughts and to recognise the ones that are keeping us stuck in the past. So for those of you that don't know me, just a quick story. My first yoga class was when I was 17 years old, and I came home and my mum actually asked me if I was drunk. I was so happy and so relaxed, and this is a very, very different way that I normally was. And then I continued through my life, and I lived in a very, very negative way. I abused my body with drugs and alcohol and toxic, horrible relationships. But every now and then I got back onto my mat, and I stepped into nature, the beach or the bush. And I tried to remember that peacefulness that I felt when I did that first yoga class. And then it took a long and very nasty path for me to realise that I had changed a lot of things in my life, or I'm going to be a really toxic person to my kids and to my hubby and to my friends. And I also had my stomach surgeon say that they have operated on me too many times. And I had my first operation when I was 10 months old. And they told me that they can't go back in again and fix anything, and I would just have to live in pain for the rest of my life. So I got back on my yoga mat, and I started realising that relaxation made me feel awesome, and so I started meditating as well. And I haven't been back to hospital with stomach pain since then. And I have a good relationship, a great relationship with my kids and my husband. You know, it's up and down every now and then, but that's pretty normal. And so this yoga and meditation just brings me to love the cells that make up my body and to start treating them with the respect that they deserve. So I completed my 500-hour yoga teacher training, and I've been teaching relaxation and yoga now for 5 years, and I've been helping hundreds of people get peacefulness and happiness in their lives. And so this way of relaxing, it's not a fad. Yoga and meditation has been known to help for over 6,000 years, and heaps of celebrities have actually made it quite popular. Madonna and her chiseled arms, Oprah's right into it. I read an article on Miranda Kerr the other day, but what I'd actually like to hear is some of the stories from the people that I see in my own classes. Real people, real issues, everyday people. So I had a young girl that came to me last week, and she had just been to one of my workshops. She had root canal done the week before she came to my workshop and freaked out. And then she knew she had another root canal procedure to be done after the workshop. And she came to me and she said she did the breathing technique and her hands weren't shaking, the pain was less, her heartbeat had stopped racing. So I just thought, wow, that's fantastic, awesome. Just through breathing techniques that I've been showing her. There's another lady that came to me 2 weeks ago, and she said that she's been waiting all year to tell me, but she's an insomniac. And after practicing the relaxation techniques I showed her and coming to yoga regularly, she comes once a week to a class, she was able to stop taking her sleeping pills. And she's been on those for 26 years. And finally she slept for 7 hours straight. So she changed a few other things in her life as well that she was just really excited to tell me that. And I'm really excited to be part of that journey for her. So that was awesome. There's so many other stories. What else can I tell you? There's an incredibly anxious person. She wrote to me saying that after doing yoga with me for just one term, she felt confident enough to start saying no to things that are not great in her life. And that's so hard for people to say, so that was good to increase her confidence. There's just these beautiful love stories. A lady spoke to me the other day and very, very nervously spoke to me, and we thought that she had gone away for a year. But she rang and she said that she's actually been so depressed she hasn't been able to come out of her house. And she said through lots and lots of work on herself and through her yoga and her meditation that we started before she locked herself away, she was able to really just slowly crawl her way out of this huge deep depression. So it's a very, very powerful way of helping ourselves in our lives. So I'd really like to encourage you to stay to the end of the call tonight, because we've got some free offers that I'd like to show you later. In amazing for free. So if you're stressed, if you can't sleep, if you can't stop those racing thoughts, let's try to help you tonight. And I'd like you to try and help yourself. So I need to put it in there that I'm not a medical practitioner. I'm just offering ways that have helped me bring happiness into my own life. And I actually encourage you not to believe anything I say. I encourage you to actually try it for yourself and be your own guru, be your own teacher. So tonight we're just going to be covering 5 techniques, and they're very similar to the ones that I cover in the ebook that I've written, Peacefulness and 5 Easy Steps. So the first one we're going to be doing is covering breathing well and the importance of it. The next one's the nervous system and the latest research into neuroplasticity in the brain. The third one is going to be how to control your racing thoughts. The fourth one is those how the detrimental negative thoughts are, and to literally snap yourself out of this pattern. And 5, how to deeply relax with one very simple yoga pose. So again, thank you so much for letting me inspire you. Let's start with the breathing, because we always start with the breathing. It's how we're born. We start with the breathing. Our babies actually have it right, which I'll talk about a little while later. So breathing is the most important thing that we do, and we usually take it for granted. Some of our benefits for breathing properly, 70% of toxins are released simply by breathing properly. And if you aren't breathing properly, the toxins don't get released. It releases tension when you're afraid, stressed or nervous. Your breathing patterns change. Breathing releases emotional distress. It's been proven to ease pain, and there's some amazing studies being done on breathing techniques easing pain. Really, really amazing. It improves your blood. The deep breaths release carbon dioxide and increase the oxygen supply, improving the quality of your blood. And it elevates the mood, increasing that pleasure-inducing chemical in the body. Okay, so now we're going to do some techniques. I'm actually going to do them. So I do encourage you to physically do these techniques instead of just listening to them, because then you'll be able to remember how to do them later on. So what I'd like you to do firstly is to just see how you're feeling now. And we're going to have a scale. We're going to have a scale from 1 to 10. So 1, feeling no stress, nothing, absolutely no stress, totally relaxed. And 10, being highly stressed, really, really stressed. So I'd like you to see how you're feeling now. From 1 to 10, just give yourself a number. You don't need to judge it. You don't need to think about it too much. Okay. So I'd like you to sit comfortably. And we always try to do this with a straight back, but it's probably best if you do actually lean back on your chair so you can relax. So I'd like you to place one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest. I'd like you to see if you can relax your shoulders, placing both feet on the floor, and start listening to your breath. Ideally, we breathe in and out through the nose, but if you're really stressed, you can breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And we really only try to breathe out through the mouth about 3 times, because it really will dry your mouth out, and you don't want to, the mouth isn't made for that. The nose is made for breathing in and out of. So breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And then I'd like you to picture your lungs in 3 sections. We're going to breathe into the top part of the lungs, the second part of the lungs, and the last part of the lungs. And then we're going to breathe out from the bottom part of the lungs all the way out through the nose. And just continue with this breathing in through the first part of the lungs, second part of the lungs, third part of the lungs, and then letting the air all the way out from the bottom part of the lungs out through the nose. And what you should notice is the hand on the belly gently moving. We're trying to encourage you to have a full yogic breath. So that's using the whole part of your lungs, making sure that your body's getting the most oxygen that it can. And so when you're breathing in, your belly should rise gently. When you're breathing out, your belly should fall gently. So as we inhale, the belly rises, and don't force it, just try to be natural. And as we exhale, the belly falls. Just keeping on practicing doing that, inhaling, the belly rises, exhaling, the belly falls. Inhaling, the belly rises. Exhaling, the belly falls. This is actually the way that babies breathe. And somewhere along the way, as we become adults, we stop figuring out how to breathe properly. So we're just trying to take our bodies back to the way that they were born to be. Breathing in and breathing out. And just drop your hands, and I want you to try and continue that breathing. Breathing in all the way down. Some people call it belly breathing. And breathing out. Allow your shoulders to be relaxed. Allow your forehead to be relaxed. Nice and soft. And now I'd like you to see how you feel. So on the same scale that we did before, the scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling now? Hopefully it's less. Maybe you can let me know at the end of the call. So as I said before, I love giving away free gifts. And so I've recorded a breathing technique called square breathing that I learned while I was studying yoga therapy for breast cancer. And this is a really great technique to relieve anxious thoughts. And it's good to do if you can't sleep. So I've been taught it so that people that are waiting for results or are worried about their results, they can do this square breathing and it can slow their heart rate. And that square breathing is on an app called SoundCloud, and it's all free to download. So we're going to now talk about our brain and our nervous system. Our nerves tell our brain when we're stressed and nervous, and so let's build those really strong connections and develop ways to recognise where we hold stress in our body, and so then we can get rid of it before it causes too much damage. So if we're tired in our body, if we're all cramped up, we're putting too much pressure on our nerves, and then nothing can work properly. Nerves supply the information for all of our internal organs and muscles, and so we really need them to work really well. So the next technique that I'm going to ask you to do, again, sitting comfortably in a nice comfortable position, being again on your stress count from 1 to 10, how are you feeling? Now I want you to start squeezing your toes together as tight as you possibly can. And then relax them. Now keeping our heels down on the floor, I want you to push or pull your toes up to your knees. Just keep the heels on the floor though, so really tightening the front part of the legs. And relax. It's so nice to relax after that. Okay. Now we're going to go to the thighs. So I want you to squeeze your thighs as hard as you possibly can. Now when we do this, sometimes we hold our breath. And we just talked about how important it was to breathe. So breathe and relax your thighs. And it relaxes your bottom as well, so it's quite nice. Okay, next we're moving on to the belly. So pull the belly in, hard as you possibly can. Pull it in, hold it, and relax. You might feel better already. Okay, now we're moving up to our shoulders. So hunch your shoulders up high, really high as you possibly can. Squeeze them together, squeeze it. You might be squeezing your belly as well. And relax them down. Okay, so you might even find that they dropped lower than they had before. And you might not even realise how tight you were holding the shoulders. Okay, now this is quite a good thing to be able to do when we're at home. We don't do this one when we're doing the live workshop. I'm going to ask you to squeeze your eyes tight, push your lips together, and scrunch your face up as much as you possibly can, still remembering to breathe. Squeeze, and relax. and take the tongue away from the roof of the mouth and totally relax. Feel your body and ask, did you realise where you were holding on to any tension? Sometimes I do a scan of my body. Even when I'm sitting, I like to knit in the evening. And I just relax and I go, wow, I'm holding on to tension in my thighs. Why? Just relax. So I'm always doing this body scan. I'm always scanning my body for any part of my body that I can relax. Any part that I'm holding tension. It doesn't need to be there. It's toxic in your body. Okay. So how are you feeling on your 1 to 10 scale? So just when you start learning to recognise where we're holding on to that tension, we can release it early. Like I said, you don't need it. And through yoga, we can learn numerous ways to develop this flexibility and strength inside our bodies. It makes our nervous system run smoothly. It makes everything run beautifully in our body. Okay, so we have talked about breathing properly and releasing stress in our body. And now let's start discussing our third technique, listening to our mind. I actually find this the hardest part in yoga is to still my mind. So it's something that I really need to practice with. The first thing we need to do when we're listening to our minds and find out what's going on is to recognise that the thoughts are merely thoughts and they can be changed. We can actually have control over this. And there's a few different ways to be able to do this. One way is to start categorising our thoughts. So let's just use 3 categories for now. Some of our thoughts are from the past. Some of our thoughts are from the future, and some of our thoughts are in the present moment. So I'll just give you some examples. From thoughts from the past, you could say, I can't believe that person said that to me. Oh, I should have said something to them, and now they think I'm weak, and I'm probably not am weak, and what are they going to think of me now? I'm such an idiot. So do you see that that's a thought from the past? Okay, so perhaps a thought from the future. Oh my goodness, I've got that meeting tomorrow. I'm so nervous. What if they ask me to speak? What if I don't know the answers? What am I going to do? We've all got those thoughts that we worry about. And the thoughts in the present moment. So those worry thoughts. So perhaps something like, oh man, I'm uncomfortable now, what's wrong with me? Maybe I'm really stressed. Oh, I shouldn't have had that extra cake or chocolate or whatever. So that's your present moment thought. Now I've read that staying with your past thoughts can lead to depression, and I know this on a very personal level. And listening to the thoughts of the future can lead to anxiety. And listening to the present moment thoughts can lead to worry, and which is such an unnecessary, it's a time waster. And this can bring happiness down as well. I love this. There's a quote, the Buddha quote. He describes the human mind as being filled with drunken monkeys jumping around, screeching, chattering, and carrying on endlessly. I think that's what goes on in my mind most of the time. Okay, so once we feel able that we can detach ourselves from those little worry thoughts that race around in our heads, we can practice detaching ourselves from the emotional thoughts. And these are the ones that really make us sweat. These are the ones that make our hands shake. These are the ones that make our bodies tense up. And these are the horrible thoughts that can lead to anxiety and depression for you. So there's many ways to detach yourself from these thoughts. And here's 2 of many that I can show you. And as I said, I've got heaps more. And there's 4 guided meditations on the beginner's home program that I can tell you about at the end of the call. And the beauty about these practices is they can be done anywhere. You just need your breath. Awesome. Okay, So we're going to do another little technique. I don't know if you realise how many things you're actually going to be doing on this call, but I hope you're enjoying it. Okay, so making sure you're comfortable again. Let's do your breath scale. Hopefully after the breathing and the tense release practice, you're not too stressed. But I'd like you to close your eyes. And in saying that, if I ask you to do anything that makes you feel uncomfortable, don't do it. You do what's best for you. It is best if we close our eyes during this stage though, because it takes away that visual stimulus and we can start really getting into our own mind. Take a moment to focus on your breathing. In and out, through the nose. So important. Lengthen the breath, make it nice and relaxed. And the organic thing that our mind just starts to do is it starts to think. So I'd like you to imagine 3 boxes, a treasure chest, whatever. One box you're going to put in your past thoughts. So if thoughts come up and it's a past thought, pop it into your box. Your next box is going to be a present moment thought. So that could be like, oh, I've got an itch. And pop it into your present moment box. And the third box you're going to do is have just future thoughts. And then if you've got a thought about what you're going to do in the future, just pop it into that box. You can come back to it later. So what we're trying to do here is just find some peacefulness in between the thoughts. I'm just going to give you a few moments. And how did you go? So gently opening your eyes. Most of these practices you really need to do for a lot longer than I'm doing tonight, but because I don't want to keep our call to be about 4 hours long, I'd like you to take these practices and try them later. There's another really fast, simple, really effective solution to stop any anxious thoughts from taking over your body. And as with the first one, it can be done anytime, wherever you are. And this one is actually quite physical. So we touch the pointer finger in the thumb and we say peace. And then we touch the middle finger in the thumb. We say begins. And then we touch the ring finger in the thumb and we say with. And then we touch the pinky finger in the thumb. We say me. So starting then with the pointer, peace, begins with me. So you just touch each finger as you say each word. Peace, begins with me. And it's so much better if you bring in the breath as well. Peace, breathe in, breathe out. Begin. Breathe in, breathe out. With. Breathe in, breathe out. Me. Breathe in, breathe out. Peace begins with me. Now if you're really stressed, and if you're standing there and you're looking at someone who's really bugging you, that peace begins with me might sound like, peace begins with me, peace begins with me, and you're doing it really, really fast. But then start to slow down, start to concentrate on the breath. Peace begins with me. And you might even have to put your fingers behind your back. And as you're looking at this person who's, just starting to get under your skin, and you don't want them to make you feel that way, put your fingers. Peace begins with me. You're not going to change them, but you can change how we react to it. Okay, hopefully that's another one to help you. I'm giving you all these techniques. Okay, now that one I got out of a book called Miracles Now, and it's written by Gary Bernstein. And I love this book. This is an awesome book for me at the moment. And I actually emailed her and asked her if I can teach some of the things out of her book, and she said, sure, no worries. So that was awesome. You can buy a copy of her book on the website. Okay, so now we're going to discuss how important your thoughts really are and how they affect your brain. I get a little bit silly when the brain is involved. I just think it is amazing. So starting with a little quote by Gandhi: your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your values, and your values become your destiny. And so we've discussed listening to our minds and listening to our thoughts. And we've practiced detaching ourselves from those thoughts through categorising them. And I just want to spend some time now discussing how important those thoughts are. So when I studied to be a school teacher, I was just fascinated by the workings of the developmental brain in the child. Just amazing. And recently neuroscientists have discovered some really awesome things about our brains. So firstly, very quickly, let's just think about our thoughts becoming our habits. So when a baby learns to speak, they have all the equipment in their brains to learn any language in the world. And they only start to learn their native tongue because it's repeated so often, and the neural pathways for that particular language become so strong. And this is the same for our negative thoughts. If we're constantly telling ourselves that we aren't good enough, or we're unhappy, or that we're stressed, or the whole world is against us, those neural pathways will become thicker every time we say it to ourselves. And now the science, and this gets me so excited, the science now is called neuroplasticity. And this is the ability for the mind to rewire itself. Cool, hey? So this has really only just started to come out in, I guess, about 5 years. So the brain can actually rewire itself. We don't have to be stuck in those patterns. And so this is awesome news for us. So if we've held those negative beliefs for decades, what we need to do is to recognise those thought patterns. We need to stop the thought and then change it. And you may need to change it just to a neutral one to start with. And then once you become more accustomed to listening to your thoughts and stopping it, changing it to a neutral thought, you might even be able to change it to a positive thought, which is awesome. And then we can create stronger neural pathways for the positive thoughts, and then that allows the negative neural pathways to start becoming thinner and will cause us less stress. Okay, so I've got an activity for you to try with this one. And again, it comes from Gabrielle Bernstein's book, Miracles Now. If you've got one around now, or you might like to try this a little bit later, I've asked, it just sounds so strange, but I'd like you to place a rubber band around your wrist. Okay, so grabbing a rubber band or a lappy, whatever, and popping it around your wrist. Now, each time you have a negative thought, flick the rubber band against your wrist. Now, it might sound quite full on, but it's better than the negative thoughts that bring you down. And so this is a very, very physical, real way of recognising how many negative thoughts that we have during the day. And hopefully you can start stopping those negative thoughts. Okay. And then it would be awesome if you could start taking it to the next level and replacing those negative thoughts with positive ones. And just see how much this improves your mindset. And it flows into all of your actions during the day. It opens your eyes to so many wonders of the world. So instead of walking past the roses and worried about what you're going to do and worried about what you look like, you can stop and smell those beautiful roses. You can listen to the kids laugh. If I'm down, I get onto YouTube and I Google, I find babies giggling, and far out, it's the best sound. or find a really good, feel-good story that you love. I love listening to uplifting music, and I've put a playlist together of really cool uplifting music, and you can download it on Spotify. It's all for free. It's under Victoria's Place online, and if you're feeling down, and if it's your way, as it is my way, I love listening to music and getting myself just out of those slumps. Okay, so what do you feel like doing? And then starting to listen to your positive thoughts flow. One way to really get into this situation, and many people have done this before, come through one of my retreats. And it just sort of makes you set really good intentions. So we're getting a retreat together in a couple of weeks' time down at Mugger River. It's so beautiful. And I've put some guided meditations together. And this gets you to relax really deeply and guide your mind into those positive ways of thinking. I do a lot of guided meditations and relaxations. Sometimes I get really sick of listening to my own thoughts, and if I can't seem to stop my own thoughts, I then listen to somebody else, and they can help guide me through those as well. So you really just need to find someone that you're very comfortable with. And, we all work better with different people. Just find someone that you're really comfortable with, and they can help you through guiding you through those meditations. It's beautiful. Okay. So now we've discussed the breathing, we've discussed the brain and the thoughts, and now let's get to the best bit, total relaxation. Okay, so people tell me all the time, every time I go shopping, someone tells me, I'd love to come to yoga, but I'm not flexible enough. And I go, really? That's really why you should start coming to yoga. But even if you're not flexible enough, everyone can do yoga. If you can breathe, you can do yoga. Okay, so there's many types of yoga these days. And I teach and practice the yoga called Hatha Yoga. And this is the yoga that most of these are based on. And this is the yoga that I do at the beginner series that I'll tell you about a little bit later. And so you ask, so how can yoga help me with anxiety and sleeping problems? And how can yoga create peace in my life? So these are really good questions. Through the practice of restorative yoga, we learn to relax the nervous system. And then we can focus on our mind. And for some of us, this is really scary. And because sometimes we spend so much time being busy, and I know I've been very, very conscious of doing this myself, that we're afraid that when we stop, things can either fall apart, we lose that control, and we have to listen to those changes, drunken monkeys in our minds. Okay, so once we start a regular practice, we can start realising that our emotions, they go up and they go down. And sometimes they stay for a while, and sometimes for a short time, sometimes for a long time. But hopefully through the practices that we do, we can start taking some control of those thoughts. And we can learn that they're just passing states of awareness. Okay, so we've discussed some of these emotional benefits of the yoga and the poses. We're just going to do one pose tonight, and it's called the inverted leg position. And there are so many benefits of it, but I'll just go through some of them. This one is an anti-aging, which is anti-aging effect, which is always good. It regulates the blood flow. It alleviates menstrual cramps. It improves digestion. It relieves mild backache. It restores tired feet or legs. It provides migraine and headache relief. It calms anxiety, and it relieves symptoms of mild depression and insomnia. It allows the body to have a constructive rest. It is said that 5 to 15 minutes of this pose can relate to 2 to 3 hours of sleep. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so this is known as inverted lake position. So it really should be avoided if you've got any serious eye problems, like glaucoma, or a serious neck or back problem. So just performing this pose with the supervision of an experienced teacher would be best. If you do have these problems, perhaps just listen. Okay, so everybody else, I'd like you to take your phone with you, if you can, or put it onto speakerphone and have a go at doing this pose. So I encourage you to have an eye pillow or a towel close to you, maybe a blanket. Hopefully it's warm enough where you are. And I'm going to ask you to put yourself on the floor next to a wall. Now you need to sit sideways on the wall with one hip rested up on the wall. So we've got one hip on the floor and one hip on the wall. And then balancing, you swing your legs up the wall and bring you back onto the floor. So it looks like an L position. Your legs are up the wall and your back, your head, your bottom is rested on the floor. So really making sure that your bottom is close to the wall, rested on the floor. When I was doing this pose in a yoga class once, there was a fellow that held his bottom up for about 5 minutes, and I just don't know how he did it. I want you to be really, really comfortable when you do this. Okay, if you've got a blanket, place it over the top of you. If you've got an eye pillow or a hand towel, placing this over the top of your eyes, you might just like to close your eyes. I want you to spend a few moments trying to be really comfortable. So, where are your hands most comfortable? Are they most comfortable by your sides, with the palms facing upwards? Are they most comfortable resting on your sacrum, the top of your belly? Sometimes I even like to have a beautiful stretch when I'm doing this pose, and stretch my arms up over my ears and rest my hands behind my head. So this is all about you. This is all about making the most of the pose for you. Like I said at the beginning, be your own guru, be your own teacher. Make the most of it for you. You can feel your lower back resting on the ground. It's just such a beautiful way of resting. If you do find that your back of your legs, your hamstrings are getting a little bit tight, you might want to bend your knees. And another way of resting in this position is bringing the soles of your feet together and your knees out to the side. So I hope you're finding that really, really comfortable. And again, focusing on the breath, always coming back to the breath. Each time you're breathing, I'd like you to breathe in relaxation. Each time you breathe out, I want you to become softer. You breathe in, you breathe out, and soften. Soften the muscles around the back. Soften the muscles in the belly. Soften the muscles in the back of the neck, and just feel the lengthening of the spine. It should feel really, really lovely. So when we're resting here, I'm just going to go through the end of our call with you. I'm just going to go through a few things so we can really set them in your mind so you can remember and bring them into your everyday life. So we talked about the importance of breathing well and how to breathe properly. We've done a body scan and released tightness in the muscles through the tense and release practice. We've listened to the thoughts on the mind and practice detaching ourselves from those worry thoughts. And we've discussed simple techniques to bring peace. Remember the fingers. Peace, be with me. We discussed the importance of the positive thinking of our health, of our minds and our body. An easy way to remind ourselves through slipping this band on the wrist, and how to relax and make the most of it. So while we're resting here, I'll just let you know about the special offer that I was mentioning earlier, just to keep this peacefulness feeling into your life. Just keep it going. So I'm hoping I can inspire you to become the best that you can be. You can be relaxed, you can be happy, and hopefully pain-free. And so I've put together a series of 6 beginner yoga fit sessions and 4 guided meditations. And there's 2 ways that people like to get these. I either guide you through and keep you on track, or if you're feeling really confident, and you can have a go on your own. So the first way this comes with is a heap of bonuses. Like I said, I love giving things away for free. But, sometimes it doesn't pay the mortgage. The first one, you get the 6 frequent beginners yoga series and the 4 guided meditations. And then you get a weekly phone conversation with me, and I get to answer any of your questions. But it also keeps you on track, which is quite handy for some people. If you're one of those people that have, lots of DVDs, exercise DVDs, or you've got the fit ball sitting in the room like I do, that I never use. But with this program, you also get 4 weekly healthy menu plans with heaps of recipes. You get weekly green smoothie ideas and weekly affirmations and inspirational pictures and 2 extra relaxation techniques. I give you a free guided journal. It's a handmade guided journal. And this is a really good way of keeping track of your progress. It's a 30-day journal. Also give you a stress ball and a really cute little bag to take it all, really cute tote bag to keep it all together. But if you're one of those people that are really confident doing it yourself, I give you the beginner series and the meditations by yourself. And I spend this in a year so you can do it anytime, whenever you want. Now, one of the best things that we've found giving out big programs, firstly, you're going to gain that beautiful sense of peace in your life. It can help lower your blood pressure and release stress and help sleep. But what's good about doing it in your own home is that those people who you know need to chill out, you don't really know how to tell them, and they're just listening to what you're doing. And it can help them as well. And so once they see how much it helps you, then they might want to join in. One of the ladies that gives this home practice used to listen to the guided meditations in bed. And her husband used to get up at 3 o'clock every day and just was grumpy, or 3 a.m. every day, grumpy. And so he ended up putting on the guided relaxation at 3 o'clock and went back to sleep. So that was awesome for his insomnia as well. So it just benefits so many areas of your life. Okay, so these are all for sale on my website, victoriasplaceonline.com.au. And you just head up to the shop tab at the top and follow the link. And you'll see that the home programs are on sale at the moment, and another bonus for being on this call. But I'm going to take that sale off after the first 15 sold. So if you can, you might want to grab that one quick. And talking about specials, there's only 4 places left for the Margaret River Retreat. That's in a couple of weeks' time. So if you get one, if you pay for one full price, you get one for 50% off. Okay, so that's on the website as well. So hopefully you're nice and relaxed. Thank you again for allowing me to inspire you. I'm going to open up the call for questions or comments. So I'd love to know how you're going. And because I can't see you, it feels so strange. I just feel like I'm sitting here talking to myself. Or you might just want to completely and utterly relax in that beautiful yoga pose. Okay. So if you'd like to comment, or if you'd like to ask a question, just press *6 to unmute your line. No, we're all totally relaxed and don't want to say anything. Oh, that's okay. Hopefully I'll be able to answer some questions later. Now, everything that we've heard today, not everything, but a lot of what we've been going over today can be downloaded on my ebook, Peacefulness in 5 Easy Steps. And just get that at Amazon. You can download it. It asks you to have a Kindle, but you don't need to have a Kindle. And I think they've got it on. It's only about $5.50. So yeah, it's a nice, easy 50-page read. Okay, I've decided to do another happy hour, and we're going to be discussing any questions that may have come up that you might not want to answer now or ask now. And we're also going to be talking about how to build healthy cleaning routines. So, as I said at the beginning of the session, yoga is not only about the poses that you see, it's a whole lifestyle. I'm going to be including some of the green smoothie recipes that I do, and I can print those out and put them in a Word document for you. And then we're just going to be talking also about new energy detox routines that I do on a daily basis to keep the inside of me and the outside of me feeling really great. Like I said, at the beginning my stomach has been giving me lots of trouble since I was 10 months old, so I need to be very careful about the inside as well as the outside of my body. Okay, so my next live talk is at Pinsley, if you'd like to join me on the 30th of August. And it'd be good to come say hello. And yeah, thanks again. May peace be with you. Namaste. Bye-bye.
The call leader has ended the meeting. All lines will be disconnected.